This video will show you how to upgrade from MySchool Desktop to MySchool Anywhere, and using option 1, if you looked at the tutorials in our support center, option 1 allows you to match parent information, that is emails and phones, from the desktop to the online system. We do have an option 2 and an option 3 where we update your data or upload your data as it exists, and then you have the families confirmed. But we highly recommend you take a look at this option, as it shouldn't take you more than an hour to go through and fix your data, and I think your parents will be much happier. The first thing I want to show you is what changes we've added to MySchool Anywhere and enhancements that make this upgrade necessary. So if you'll notice, when I look at a family, under Household 1 and Household 2, we have a home number, we have parents. Parents are linked to a phone and email. Parent 1, Parent 2, and we have the same thing in Household 1, where we have a home phone, first name, last name of parents, their description. Now let's go take a look at the desktop application. Here in the desktop application, we'll go to the Family Contact Maintenance form. You'll see in version 4 of the MySchool Desktop that we have parent first names, parent 1 and 2, and we have phone 1, phone 2, and phone 3. Notice that these aren't directly linked to the parents. They may be logically linked, or linked because of labels where we show we have home, dad cell, mom cell, and schools that you've used eConfirm in the past were able to have their parents put labels on their fields, making it a bit easier. But you also have email 1 and email 2, and there's no necessarily enforced logic that links the parents with the phones and emails and or the home. We see that same thing in the second household as well. Now that we've gone through the reasons why we recommend going through this upgrade process, let's walk through the steps. For a school of medium size, maybe 300-400 families, this process shouldn't take you more than half an hour to an hour tops, especially if your data has been laid out properly in the past. The first thing I did was click on, might have done that too quickly, you have a MySchool Anywhere upgrade menu. You'll see this after you've installed the software. Click on that. Now you can always view instructions. You've obviously gotten to this video through our instructions on the Support Center, but you can always go back and view instructions. First thing you're going to do is make a backup. You probably already have a backup when you ran the upgrade, but go ahead and make one again, and that way you'll always have a saved backup before you start the process that you can restore from. That is important. So you might make a backup and call it backup before upgrade. Then you run the graduation process. So to graduate, it says a current backup exists. Would you like to proceed? Say yes. Now it will tell you the graduation and promotion process is complete, and it will tell you who's graduated, or how many students graduated and promoted. Now that we've done the graduation process, the next step is to check for duplicate emails. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on this. It does more than just duplicate emails, however. Note that you can't have an email without a parent name, and each parent can only have one. So we check for duplicates to make sure they're not used in multiple families. We also check to make sure that the emails are formatted properly. In this case, I have both. I have multiple emails in a cell. I also have duplicate emails as well. So I would go ahead and clean that up. What it does is it tells you the problem. It tells you the family ID to make it easy to go find that family, and then you can clean that up. So in this case, I'm going to go to 1016, put in the family ID at the bottom, and I'll go to that record. Now I see Julie. Now this happened to have had multiple email addresses, and again, because of the online system being much better at controlling emails for emailing out of the system, as well as granting access if you're using the online directory, we need to make sure that we don't have those duplicates. Otherwise they will be dropped and not imported. The next step is to map label defaults. And again, as you recall, we have in the desktop, phone 1, phone 2, phone 3, email 1 and 2. In the new system, we want to say whether it's a home. P1, parent 1, P2 is parent 2. Now this applies for both household 1 and household 2. So what we're saying here is phone 1 is generally our home phone. Phone 2 is generally parent 1, and phone 3 is generally, to see if there's some consistency. That's what we're looking for, consistency in data entry. For example, there are many schools I've seen where the dad's name is first and the mom's name is second. But most of the time, mom's phone is first, mom's cell, the home is first, excuse me, mom's cell, then dad's cell. So in that case, I would say home, but then phone 2 is parent 2, and phone 3 is parent 1. So you understand basically what you're doing is you're mapping or setting the defaults for your current data at the desktop. And we will use this to map it to the online system. That is, and I'll show you in a second, when you've mapped these, I'll go back to just P1, P2 and assign defaults because my data is pretty much set up that way. Now we'll go review the phone and emails. So what we're doing here is we're looking at our data, and we've cleaned this form out so it's very easy. Don't forget household 2 because household 2 also needs to be mapped. But notice we've said home 1 is the first number, parent 1 is the second, parent 2 is the third. Now in this case we have a mom as parent 1 and a dad as parent 2. So this maps perfectly. Now the one thing that doesn't map in this particular one is the address, excuse me, the email address. Email Sally should be really for parent 1, and we'll make this one for parent 2 because we have to give it to the other one. But as you can see, you had some defaults that should be fine for the most part, and we're just going to use this previous and next to scroll through. So by setting the defaults, we're telling the system, hey, these are our standards. We typically have a home, then we have mom cell, dad cell, but then we have parent 1 and parent 2 for our emails, and we're going to map them to the parents. So if your defaults and your data is pretty clean, then just you scroll through and make sure it all looks pretty good. Now you might find that some need to be fixed, and you just go ahead and make the changes. But again, you can see this is pretty clean. And your data may have a situation, let's say you had a situation where there was an email and no parent. In that case, you're going to need to remove the email or put something in like P1 as a placeholder for the parents. Okay, so that's just something to think about as well. But as you can see, I have pretty clean data, but I'm going to go through and show you basically the process. So if you understand, I've mapped home to my phone 1, parent 1 to phone 2, parent 2 to phone 3. And again, you may switch these as your defaults, but basically you'll go through your data and you will assign the labels to the appropriate ones. If you are in doubt, that is, you may have some records where there's no prefix to your phone numbers, I recommend you just leave them alone and let the parents fix them. At the end of the day, remember, your parents can fix them via eConfirm. So they can also confirm their data and fix any changes you've made. So online they can update it. So basically that's it. Just go through. Here's another one where I don't have the labels. So again, there's ones that I might just leave alone because I don't see any correlation. Once you're done reviewing, save. This will create a new backup, and you might want to call it backup after or backup for MySchoolAnywhere, and your school name. Please put your school name. Go ahead and make that a little smaller for you. Sorry about that. Might call it something like that so it's easy to remember. And go ahead and save that. And when you're done, email that saved file, the one you just made, to upgrade at My Directory Maker with your account. You do need a MySchoolAnywhere account before we can do this. Upgrade that with your account name, your school name, and the email address of which you created that account. And that's it, and we'll take it from there. Thanks. Bye-bye.